Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southeast.
It is a hot and muggy night here at SunTrust Park, and the Eastern race in the National League is just as hot. The Nationals, one half game in front of Dansby Swanson's Atlanta Braves, start a 4-game series tonight here in Atlanta. First place on the line as the Braves and Nats meet in their third series here in 2018. Hi again, friends, along with Braves Hall of Famer Joe Simpson and the Blueberry Farmer Jeff Francoeur. Nice outfit tonight, Chip Carey. Welcome to Game 1 of our big series with the Washington Nationals. Braves and Nats have split the first 2 series, 3 games apiece. This is a big one. Atlanta and Washington head-to-head for 4 here in Atlanta.
Yeah, this is a team that everybody thought this Nats team was going to run away with the division. Braves, you look at the Mets, we've all played well with the Phillies. I think the one thing we're going to have to look at now is Washington's really starting to get healthy. They're starting to gel. But at the end of the day, we're right with them, and we've had a much tougher schedule. I like the way we're playing. Hopefully we can at least take 2 or 3 this week.
There have been some guys that have really played well in the first 2 series between these 2 teams, and as you can see up there, a 3-3 split of the first 6 games. Depot, a real instigator for the Washington Nationals, does a good job at the bottom of their order. Roark tonight's been outstanding, so is Strasburg. For the Braves, Ozzie Albies and Freddie Freeman had great series in those 6 games. Mike Foltynewicz also had a terrific start. But tonight, guys, it's about Tanner Roark. He's been so good against Atlanta, they got to figure out a way to figure him out.
Yeah, Washington's won 10 straight games on the road, but Sean Newcomb's been arguably the best Brave starter, with a little hiccup last time out against the Red Sox at Fenway Park. Perfect night for baseball. A Braves win would make it even more perfect. We'll see what happens. Game 1, Braves and Nats, coming up from SunTrust right after the break.
By your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. SunTrust. Confidence starts here. And by Toyo Tires. Imagine loving your tires.
Beautiful night for baseball in Atlanta. 85 degrees, partly sunny skies. There was a threat of rain about 45 minutes ago or so, but looks like we'll have no problems. Hopefully we'll say the same about Sean Newcomb, who gets the ball for the Braves in a very important Game 1 start tonight.
His 11th start of the year, but a crazy May for him. Outstanding. 4-0 with a 1.29 ERA, a 1.55 average against him. He's been outstanding. However, his his loss this year came against the Nationals, and that was back on April 2nd. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, and 5 earned runs. He's a different guy than they saw at that time. His Fort Keys tonight. Get off to a good start. Yeah, there's a lot of attention to this series, so people are watching. You know it's a big game. Get off to a good start here in the first inning against the top of their order. That changeup is something that has really developed since he faced the Nationals. Use it when you get in trouble and need some outs. That changeup will work.
And a key to beating Washington's keeping this guy off the base paths. Trey Turner, the National shortstop, riding an 11-game hitting streak, hitting .267 for the year. Braves have done a good job against him in the first 6 games. Hope that continues tonight, as Dan Bellino says, ball 1, and we are underway. That's off the plate, ball 2 for Trey Turner.
You know, Joe, you were talking about Sean, and he's a different guy than April 2nd. There's no doubt. And I thought he's been fantastic in that start versus the Red Sox last week. Anytime you get a guy going up there for the first time in that lineup, and you don't ever want to say give a guy a pass, but at the end of the day, you give him a pass.
Had a lot of family and friends there.
It's tough. You're amped up.
A lot of weight on him. But he walked a couple of guys in that first inning up there. Hopefully that won't happen tonight.
Well, he just gave Turner a pass on 4 pitches. Turner, with 14 stolen bases, is aboard. He's been caught only once. So Turner's aboard in front of Bryce Harper, hitting second on Dave Martinez's Toyota starting lineup. Rendon and Reynolds third and fourth. The rookie Soto in left field. Taylor, Severino, Roark eighth, Defoe ninth, and playing second base. Pretty amazing seeing who's not on the starting lineup card for the Nationals, but seeing that they are in first place. Here's Harper, 18 homers, leads the league. Bryce hitting .238, however, for the year. And Newcomb's thrown 5 straight balls to start the game. In that start April 2nd, it was Bryce Harper that really gave Newcomb troubles. Bryce hit a homer, walked 4 times in that game, and scored 3 runs.
Just a typical day for him.
6 in a row off the mark. Turner has a good lead at first, and that missed high. Three balls, no strikes for Bryce Harper. There's a strike. Now let's see if he can come back and get the Nationals right fielders. Only hitting .215 this year against left-handed pitching. But Harper as patient as they come with 46 walks. Took a little off, got it over. There's that change up, 3-2.
And he's going to have to command that and use it tonight when he's behind in the count. These guys are all good fastball hitters in their lineup.
So will Turner be running with nobody out? Let's see. He's not. And Harper fought it off and skies it into the second deck. Nice catch down below to our left.
Good pitch.
Harper's still alive.
Good pitch inside.
He's come back with 3 good ones here.
Challenge him again.
Runner goes this time, and the pitch is low, and it's back-to-back walks to start the game. So 2 on, nobody out. Anthony Rendon, the hitter. Rendon, the Nationals' third baseman, batting .263. Don't want to give Tanner Roark an early lead. He has been so tough on the Atlanta offense in his major league starts against the Braves. Let's see if Rendon can be doubled up. Rendon, 6 homers, 15 runs batted in.
He's missing up.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to see what Dave Martinez, I know it's a couple weeks out, but when Adam Eaton comes back, if he moves him to the leadoff, or something always for me that I just like Trey Turner in the leadoff role for them. He can do so much. I don't know if that's something you bat him second or.
Turner's taken off. The throw's going to go to second, and it's a double steal for Washington.
Good base running on the part of Harper. He was watching Turner, and unfortunately Newcomb didn't give Turner enough attention because he kept bouncing off every time Nuke looked away and was off to the races.
Yeah, you can see right here, Joe, you know it as well as I do, when you're struggling on the mound to throw strikes, you kind of forget about those base runners, and they took advantage of it right there. 2 smart base runners.
And they lead the league in stolen bases.
42 of them now for the Nationals, and Newcomb has thrown 14 pitches. He's thrown 3 strikes. Turner at third, Harper at second, nobody out, and a 3-0 count. Now the 3-1. Fly ball hit toward left. Tucker is there. He settles. There's the catch. Runner tags. The throw will be cut off. It's a sac fly for Rendon, and Washington cashes in that leadoff walk. It's 1-0. Harper holds at second. He stands there with 1 out.
It's a big out for Sean right there. He's facing a swing and miss guy. Reynolds now coming up, possible strikeout, and you get out there, walk 2 guys, get behind 3-0, and maybe got a chance to get away with 1 run. I think you'd sign up for that against this offense.
No question. Hopefully that out will help him settle in.
Well, what a find Reynolds has been for the Nationals with Ryan Zimmerman still disabled. Reynolds in 13 games has hit 6 homers.
You know, you can say what a find, but at the end of the day, is he? He's hit 30 bombs the last couple of years out in Colorado and can't get a job.
Right. I don't know if too many people put too much emphasis on the fact that he played in Colorado. Didn't give him enough credit. The fact that he struck out a lot didn't mean anything because strikeouts don't matter, remember?
Yeah, they don't care about him.
And he's only fanned 6 times for these guys in 40 at-bats.
That's where it's so weird. You talk about the way baseball goes sometimes. You look around this offseason and see other teams, playoff teams really, Joe, and you're telling me you couldn't use this guy for $1 million?
Terrific off the bench.
Yeah.
Play first, third.
And that's quite a tandem with Reynolds and Matt Adams, the former Brave, filling in for Zimmerman. Adams has hit 12 homers for the Nationals this year. So between Reynolds and Adams, that's 18 homers and 40 RBIs. Not bad. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dave Martinez's Nationals lead 1-0 on a sacrifice fly. The pitch. is dribbled back to the mound. There'll be a second out and a big one. Reynolds retired. Harper at second, 2 away. So this will be our first look at rookie Juan Soto, the 19-year-old young sensation who's off to a terrific start. Soto hitting .375 in his first 10 big league games. A homer, 4 RBIs. He's walked 5 times. Already 12 hits.
Man, oh man, if I'd been built like that at 19, I might have been pretty good. Wow.
Tell you what, you could have between him and Acuna, you could have 2 of the top players in the game going at it for 6 years, 18 times a year.
No balls and a strike. Fly ball center, and Newcomb's going to get out of it, allowing just 1 run. All in all, that's outstanding work.
Great job.
Could have been a lot worse. They cash in a leadoff walk. Tanner Roark 1. Braves coming up. Schnitger's Toyota starting lineup features Ender Inciarte leading off. Then it's Ozzie, Freddie, Nick Markakis, Tyler Flowers 5th, Camargo. At third base, Preston Tucker in left. Sean Newcomb, as you know, facing off with a longtime Braves nemesis, right-hander Tanner Roark.
He's been a Braves killer, let's face it. 7-3 in 14 starts, 20 appearances. And in his last 4 appearances against the Braves, only 2 walks. But in May, no run support. Look at those numbers. Great ERA and opponent's average. No wins to show for it. He's the guy that's kind of the guy that's left out on their offense.
Well, he's got a run to play with tonight as Ender leads off for the Braves. And he takes high. 1 ball, no strikes.
You talk about Tanner Roark. He's been the most unsung hero for this team for 3-4 years now. He's a guy, 3 years ago won about 18 games and got left out of the rotation the next year.
Right.
Spent pretty much the whole year in the pen. And then really the last 2 years has been the guy that when people have gone out for injuries, all he's done is throwing good games.
Step up and take over.
2 balls, no strikes. That one found the mark. If I'm not mistaken, they went out and got Doug Fister, and Roark lost his rotation spot to Fister. That was after going 15-10 in 2014 with a sub-3 ERA. That sliced over short and down for a leadoff hit. So the Braves will try to answer here in the first. They've scored 40 first-inning runs this year, but it's been a while since they've tallied an opening inning run, all the way back to May 16th. Maybe tonight's the night to change that.
Well, Ender needs to share whatever secret he's got because he wears out Roark. He was 10 for 25 with a homer against him before that at bat.
Hopefully that's a good sign, him going the other way like that, not trying to pull it. The thing that Roark does is it can be a frustrating AB because he doesn't have anything overpowering. He's not Strasburg or Scherzer where he's out there throwing 98 with the big breaking ball. He's just going to paint you in and out, sinker slider.
Fastball tops out at about 94. Two-seamer and a four-seamer.
Bunt try by Ozzie, and it's fouled away. It'll be interesting to see how the Braves utilize Ender in this series. Inciarte with 18 stolen bases on the year. Washington used a double steal to pick up a run. Let's see how aggressively Atlanta runs with Ozzie in the box and Freddie Freeman on deck. Albies with 65 hits on the year. Good lead at first for Ender. Not going, and the pitch is too high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Curveball, fly ball, well hit toward the gap in left center. But drifting over is Taylor to the warning track. He makes the play, and that retires Albies for out number 1. So here's Freddie Freeman, his first look at Tanner Roark. He's our Georgia lottery jackpot.
Good numbers against him in 6 games. 7 for 20, 3 doubles, a homer, 5 RBIs, and 6 walks. A .500 on base percentage.
Is that good? I just figured that's his normal numbers.
Yeah.
Freddie's got a 12-game hit streak. The Nationals shift against him. He's got the whole left side of the diamond to play with if he wants it.
I think he could get a bunt double right here.
Yeah. Freddie at .335 on his batting average for the year. The pitch. They pitched him away. Dangerous toss from Roark. Ball 1. Guys, as a hitter, what does this shift tell you about how Roark is going to try to pitch it?
Normally you would say inside, but that last pitch didn't indicate that.
Ball 2.
That's one thing about the shift, and I know we talk about analytics, different numbers. That's my big one thing. I'm okay with it if you have a game plan and you're going to pitch to it. But like you said, to play this, Freddie, Nick, those guys are so smart. You throw it away, they'll just take their knocks over there.
Sure, especially with men on base.
Here he goes again, fastball away.
Nothing really close for Freeman to even offer at this point. 3-0 the count.
And again, last 4 starts against the Braves, he's only walked 2 guys, struck out 22.
So it's 3-0. Will Freddie have a green light? He did, and he pops it up. That's slicing over the Nationals dugout. Foul. 3 balls and a strike.
That was a break. Getting out of play.
Yeah.
Foul out on a 3-0 count. You want to hit yourself in the head.
So now it's 3-1. Roark delivers. High fly ball. He got under it. Bryce Harper in right center says he's got it, and he does. Big comeback for Roark as Freeman can't cash in a 3-0 count. Inciarte at first, now 2 away from Markakis.
I'll tell you right now, that was a great at bat by Freddie. And if he throws any of those pitches his next 2 at bats, I promise you he's either going to gap one or hit one in the chop house. He got away with that one.
Yes, he did.
Nick Markakis 4th in the league in hitting at .332. 41 hits this month for the Braves right fielder. The pitch. Good hook. Only 2 other Braves have ever had 40 or more hits in the month of May in Atlanta history. Ralph Garr and Matt Kemp.
Gator. Oh, Ralph.
He had a good run.
It's nothing better than sitting in the dugout with him during spring training and hearing him yell at the umpire and the other team. So much fun.
Roark is into the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. And chest high evens the count. One reason why Washington has surged this month has been their outstanding starting pitching. They are averaging less than 1 walk and hit per inning among their starting staff in May. Remarkable. Runner goes. Pitch high. Throw to second. Also high. And they got it down in time. The tag on the foot of NCarte applied to end Atlanta's first. So NCarte has gunned out. The Braves are taking a peek. But the tag lightning quick. And he's out. Nothing doing in the Atlanta first. 1-0 Washington. Remember this play? May 31st, 1996, Cleveland Indian Albert Bell broke up a double play, knocking down Brewers second baseman Fernando Vina. Albert Bell later suspended 2 games for that base running infraction.
He looks like he was taking some protein back in the day.
Yeah, he was hitting pretty hard.
Nicely put. Here's Sean Newcomb going to work in the second inning. Let's see if he has better control. 22 pitches, 10 strikes. And a couple of walks back-to-back started the night. A Rendon sac fly brought home Trey Turner for the game's first run. Michael Taylor, the batter. Taylor had a big breakout playoff run for Washington last year, guys. That has not carried over so far into 2018. He's hitting just .203. with 64 strikeouts.
Therein lies the problem.
I went down and talked to Dave Martinez a little bit today. Obviously, I haven't seen him since he got the job. Just congratulating him. But he was talking about Michael Taylor, saying he wants to see him cut down a swing. He said one thing I think is he's got so much power, and he's almost been trying to be a power hitter. And like you said, 64 strikeouts for a guy like him is way too high.
Well, that was something Dusty Baker tried to get him to do last year. You know, leave the home runs to some other guys. You'll hit your share, but don't try to hit them.
Taylor had that big playoff series against the Cubs last year. Hit 2 homers, drove in 8 in 15 at bats. Ground ball left side. Braves had him played perfectly. The long throw to first in time retires Taylor. Newcomb set down 4 straight after the back-to-back walks. 1 out.
Nationals are not that good against left-handed starters. They're 7-11 so far on the year.
With a .311 on base percentage. That's what makes the 2 walks so frustrating. Here's Severino, the catcher. Severino playing because Matt Wieters is banged up. A left hamstring strain sent Wieters to the DL on May the 11th. And a fly ball headed for the gap. Will it hang up for Ender? He dives, can't get it. Tucker backs up nicely. And Severino has the Nationals' first hit. Great try, but Severino hit it to a perfect spot.
Split the outfielders. Good try by Ender, but no chance.
Great job by Preston knowing your role. Get out of the way and back up.
Tanner Roark will try to bunt, we presume. He only has one sacrifice. That one will be number 2. Runner to second and 2 out. So 1-4 the sacrifice scoring. Now it's up to Wilmer Defoe. As Joe said, he's been an instigator for the Nationals. He'll try to instigate a 2-out opportunity here in the second.
When they moved Harper actually to the leadoff spot and then now to the 2 spot in the order, it was a wise move on Dave Martinez's part to move the pitcher to the 8th spot, and that way the second time through the order Harper's got 2 guys in front of him.
Defoe is a speedy switch hitting middle infielder with a strong throwing arm and versatility, guys, that allows him to appear all over the diamond.
Gee, where did that come from?
That would be page 3 of the always entertaining Nationals media notes. There's a strike. It's 0-1. He's a good player, though.
Yes, he is, and he can really run.
He's appeared at second base, third base, shortstop, and center field. And started 43 games at shortstop when Trey Turner got hurt last year. It hit .339. And he almost guided that one inside the line fair. 0-2.
You almost wonder sometimes when Dave Martinez was talking about Michael Taylor, he almost needs to watch Wilmer Defoe and think about his approach and what he's doing. Look, he still can hit the ball a long ways, but you saw that right there. He's going to try to shoot the hole. He's going to try to shorten his swing and play pepper with the pitcher.
2-strike pitch. And a little flare to shallow right. Markakis had him played perfectly. And Newcomb has an economical and quick top of the second. Nick gets a second look at Roark. 1-0 Washington. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. By Delta and by Synovus, the bank of here. Washington 1, Braves nothing after 1.5 innings. Joe Simpson, Jeff Brancourt, Chip Carey with you from steamy SunTrust Park. Game 1 of 4 head-to-head between the Braves and Nats. Our first meeting with Washington in 50 calendar days.
Well, it was good timing. I mean, they just climbed over the Braves into first place. It's a little bit like the series the Braves had with the Phillies up in Philadelphia when the Phils had gotten within a half game.
I wish they'd spread them out more over the season. I don't like how it gets so heavy late in the year and early in the year. You think about it, the Braves have played the Phillies, and now they won't see them till 6 of the last 9 games of the season.
But the Braves won 3 of the first 4 series, so it worked out to
No, it did.
Atlanta's advantage. Markakis with a second look at Roark, takes advantage. That ball ricochets off the fence. Nick's going to try for 2. He'll make 2 as Harper got to it as quickly as he could, but a bonus at bat for Markakis, and the Braves are in business with a leadoff double.
Did a great job of keeping that ball fair. Got his hands inside.
I had to laugh thinking, you know, we talk about Nick being a professional hitter. I was watching last night's game, and y'all were talking about if
About Cabrera.
yeah, if he was a professional hitter, and you said not yet, and then he hits 2 home runs.
Yeah.
I was laughing thinking, well, is he now?
Yeah.
Has he gone there now for you?
He's a really good second baseman.
There you go.
Oh, that was good.
Flowers will try to get Markakis to third base. That swing will cost him a strike. He didn't think so.
Yeah, Tom accused me of making him mad.
Yeah. but you know what? I've played against him a long time now. When he was with Cleveland, when I was with Kansas City, he's continuously gotten better. You know, he hasn't always been like, to me, Nick's always been like what he's doing now.
Right.
No balls and a strike. And that's taken low and in for Braves catcher. Tyler with 3 homers, 9 RBIs, a .286 average. Tyler hasn't faced Washington pitching this year. Remember, he got hurt on his first at bat of the year and was on the DL with the oblique. 1-1 pitch. And 2-1 your count. Wouldn't be a bad idea to make Roark have to work overtime on this sticky night. The 2-1 is off the plate, ball 3. So the Braves have played right around 500 ball the last 2 weeks or so. The offense has cooled a little bit, and it's been situations like this that have been a little frustrating at times for the Braves to cash in. The 3-1 count, and Tyler takes ball 4. So the table's set, 2 on, nobody out. And Johan Camargo coming up. And Camargo has played pepper with a right field wall the last 2 games.
You know, we talk about Washington going up a half game on us, but we talked in the pregame, Joe, about how we have played a much tougher schedule than the Nats have. And, you know, you're going to go through moments like that. Your offense isn't going to be unbelievable for 162 games, and you're going to have 500 stretches. But I think the one good thing for us is, like the New York series, I didn't think we played awesome, but you're able to find a way to win two ball games when you're not playing great.
Good sign for this ball club, especially as young as they are.
And Camargo a big part of that with his 2 homers against the Mets. This one off the end of the bat and skied out of play. Johan is our Zaxby's indescribably good player.
4 for 7 against this guy with a double. He has not played against the Nationals. He had not been called up yet from his spring training injury.
Markakis double to start the inning. Flowers walks. Nobody out. 1-0 Nats. The pitch is taken high. Ball 1, strike 1.
During this stretch where they have won 21 of 27 games, they've played the Padres, the Diamondbacks, 2 games against the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Padres, Miami, and Baltimore. So a very light competitive schedule compared to what the Braves have had to deal with.
All I
this
heard
month.
was Padres twice. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah. Miami and Baltimore.
Which Baltimore might be the worst out of all of them right now.
Right.
Record-wise, the Orioles have 17 wins, second fewest of any other big league club. Meanwhile, the Braves in the middle of a stretch of 14 straight games against winning teams. And And only a half game separates Atlanta and Washington in the division.
Did I mention we missed Scherzer again here?
That's not a bad thing.
No.
Even though they did beat him earlier this year.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Tanner Roark. Slash toward left. That ball's troubled if it stays fair. It is a foul ball just off the fence. And Camargo back to the plate. Still a 1-2 count. Just kept slicing and he couldn't keep it inside the line.
And Scherzer's 9-1 on the year. The one loss was to the Braves.
You think he's on his way to a Cy Young?
If Jacob deGrom doesn't beat him to it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3. Camargo caught looking. There's out number 1. So here's Preston Tucker. He gets the start in left field tonight. Left-handed bat for Atlanta. Tucker with 3 homers. He's knocked in 20. 2 of his homers and 6 of his RBIs have come against Washington.
That's where Rourke's tough, Joe. You see right there, you got Camargo leaning out twice, and then he throws that little front hip 2-seamer.
Back up.
Nothing you can do about that.
He's a big guy, 6'2", 240. Out of Wilmington, Illinois. Lives in Atlanta now.
Lined over first and headed for the corner. That's going to tie it. Flowers around second, on his way to third. Harper digs it out at the base of the wall. Preston Tucker jumps all over the first pitch, and it's 1-1 in the second.
Looked like a changeup, straight change on the first pitch. He just kind of combed it.
He can hook it down that right field corner with the best of them.
So the Nationals will intentionally walk Dansby Swanson to load the bases. Sean Newcomb will be the hitter. So the Braves have tied the game. A couple of doubles in the inning. Markakis scores the first Atlanta run, and let's see if Sean can help himself.
I know he sent Preston down for a little bit. Well, it ended up being a couple days, I think. But I'm a guy that I want to see. I like him on the team, even if he's not going to play. Just pinch hit wise, a big at bat off the bench. He can do that.
Slow curve ball in for a strike to Newcomb. 0-1.
Brian Snitker likes that too. After Ronald Acuna Jr. was called up, Snit still wanted Tucker around to pinch hit and play spot starts.
Almost hit him. And Tucker's done a good job off the bench. He's got 6 pinch hits and 21 at bats.
Which is, I'll tell you what, if you've never done it, and I didn't do it until 15 really on a regular basis, it's one of the toughest things to do is come off a bench and pinch hit, especially for the most part, especially a guy like him. He's facing top guys.
Right.
Closers and setup guys.
Yeah, he's pinch hitting in high leverage situations. He's not coming in the 6th inning with nobody on base. And you like the fact that he can go, you know, not play for 2 or 3 days and come up and first pitch, do what he did.
Corners are in, but the middle infielders are back for Washington, even with the pitcher up.
Newcomb slowly toward the shortstop. The flip to second, 1. Throw to first. He beat it. A run is in. So the Nationals' strategy to walk Swanson turns into a second Atlanta run.
I was just curious about their strategy to play back up the middle with the pitcher up. Perhaps anticipating that He's not going to put the ball in play with much authority. That would have been a tailor-made home to first double play.
If you're Rourke right there, you got to be a little frustrated thinking that's got to be a double play right there. Two bouncer to the shortstop. Like you said, they played a little bit deeper. I'm not sure.
Right before that pitch, though, Jeff, Defoe was well over in the hole between first and second. He had a long way to go to get to the bag.
Well, you
and
could tell
take the
he
toss.
couldn't get anything on that throw running through.
Now Ender shoots one toward left. Soto on the run makes a fine diving catch to save an Atlanta run. The Braves, though, pick up two. A double by Markakis, a double by Tucker, and a Newcomb fielder's choice. 2-1 Atlanta.
Leading the Nats 2-1. I'm Andre Aldrich. It's been nearly 4 years since the Braves and Nats have played for first place after Memorial Day. Actually, June the 20th of 2014. Braves won that game up in Nats Park. But when I went to the clubhouse to talk about this big series and this 4 games upcoming, the Braves were kind of downplaying it. They know that they've been playing good ball. They feel very confident in their abilities, but they didn't want to put too much in this series. They want to approach it just like they've been playing each and every game so far. And as the guys in the booth have kind of been pointing out, they know that they've been facing some very tough teams, and the fact that they've faced Washington twice so far this season gave all the guys confidence in the world coming into tonight's ball game, Chip.
Andre, thank you very much. You guys have been in the locker room. You've played in games like this at this time in the season. Is that really what they're thinking, or are they just saying that to try to convince themselves that it's just another game?
Oh, no. No, there's a lot of pride at stake tonight with respect to these two teams, and everybody knows that Washington is the team to beat in the division.
Right.
They've been missing a lot of their key players. So for the Braves to come in and make a statement here at the end of May, early June, I think is a big deal to them.
Yeah, I think they said it perfect. You're not going to let the other team think that it's more than just another game. But at the end of the day, like Joe said, this is a team that's been on top. It's a team that all of a sudden's a half game up on you. And all you heard from everybody was, they'll come. They're going to keep creeping. They're going to keep creeping. So I think they know how big this series is.
Trey Turner led off with a walk, stole third, and scored on a sacrifice fly. But the Braves have rallied with 2 runs in the second, including Sean Newcomb's first major league RBI. And that's the difference in the game. It's 2-1. And just low to Turner, 2 balls and a strike. During this 11-game hitting streak for Turner, this one's hit up the middle and through. Swanson shifted on him, and Turner, a big turnaround first, slams on the brakes, and he's hit safely now in 12 straight. With his first inning walk, it's only 5 runs for him in these 12 games. He's been on base a lot.
I thought he was going for 2 right here for sure.
I did too when he hit the first base bag.
I think he could have got it too, Joe. I really do. Not Ender was hustling the whole time. It was just where it was hit and how weak it was hit.
So you got to keep an eye on Turner. He likes to run. And Bryce Harper, the batter, he walked in the first. Newcomb threw 7 straight balls to start the game. 12 balls among the 22 first inning tosses tonight, but he gave up just the 1 run. And Harper a big swing and a miss.
I think the one thing that Washington's going to have to deal with Atlanta, though, compared to Philly and some of the others, I love Philly's staff. I talked about it. New York, their pitching staff. One thing the Braves have, though, that I don't think the other 2 teams do is offensively, we keep coming at you every half inning. And that's something we haven't had here in a long time. And those other 2 teams cannot do that at the pace I feel like that we can.
I was just looking at Harper has 40 RBIs and leads their team. So does Freddie Freeman. 40 RBIs, leads his team. But no one has more than 28 RBIs below that. Excuse me, 32, and that's Matt Adams. The Braves have Albies with 34 RBIs. Markakis with 38 RBIs. They've got a lot of guys up and down the lineup to back up what you're saying that give you problems every half inning.
I know they're missing a couple guys, but you put our lineup tonight and I'll take our lineup. I will any day of the week right now.
Well, the Braves have played 55 games. Washington's played 55 games. Atlanta has scored 280 runs. Washington scored 242 runs. So Atlanta's outscored them by 38 runs in the same number of games this year. Runner goes, pitch inside, throw to second, had no chance. Turner has his second stolen base, and he's in scoring position for Harper on a 1-2 count.
Pitchers are going to have to give Tyler Flowers and Kurt Suzuki more help in this series. That was a high leg kick. Turner read it perfectly. Had a huge jump.
Especially a guy like Turner with that kind of speed. That's a layup for him.
So a hit could mean a run for Bryce Harper, who's behind in the count 1-2. Harper's batted first. He's batted second. He's batted third this year for the Nationals. And he takes away high, ball 2. Wasn't getting an awful lot to hit, hitting third. They then moved him to first, and he went on a big home run hitting binge for the Nationals and kind of jump started their offense. Now with Turner back and swinging well, Bryce can hit behind Turner and in front of Rendon. And now the 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball right side, productive out for Harper. Turner to third, 1 away.
I don't care where that guy hits. I ain't giving him anything to hit.
Well, I'm perfectly happy letting him move the runner to third base.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now Rendon, the batter, he delivered a sacrifice fly in the first inning that provided the Nationals their lone run. Mark Bowman of MLB.com had a great story today online talking about Rendon and what could have been for the Braves. Line drive into right field on the first pitch. That's going to tie the game. So Rendon a 2 RBI night. He's at first. Turner scores his second run. Braves drafted Rendon out of high school. He was a 27th round pick. And Atlanta couldn't come up with Rendon's request of $750,000 to sign a professional contract. He instead went to Rice University. And then the Nationals drafted him 6th overall in the first round in 2011.
So that was what, 08? When he got drafted?
Yep, 26th round. Yeah, excuse me, 26th round that year. Popped up by Reynolds on the first pitch. Freddie over near the stands. He's going to watch it sail into the second row. Strike 1.
And that is a lot of money for 26th round pick.
Chipper was nearing the end for Atlanta.
Oh, so you're blaming it on Chipper?
No, but
sure. I like
but Rendon loved Chipper Jones
Chip.
and would have loved to have served.
Chip's calling out Chip.
Served an apprenticeship at third base. But it wasn't meant to be. He's turned into a terrific major league player in a Nationals uniform. So Rendon's 17 RBIs, 2-2 game in the third for Reynolds, who popped, I should say, bounced back to the mound in the Washington first. Out of play, 1-2 the count.
Talked a lot about Reynolds through the years, but especially in Colorado when he was hitting so many home runs. And that his swing is it's unique, but it looks even more one-handed than any other player whose top hand comes off the bat. It looks like it comes off the bat as soon as he starts his swing almost.
Tell you what, you ever want something fun, come out and watch him hit BP. It's a show.
I'll bet. Reunited with his college teammate, right? Ryan Zimmerman. Didn't they play together at Virginia?
Reynolds tied the school record with 35 career home runs. Played amateur baseball for the Virginia Blasters and the Tidewater Drillers. Melvin and Justin Upton, David Wright and Ryan Zimmerman were teammates. How'd they ever lose? Pop up to second, should take care of Reynolds. 2 outs.
Chip Hale, the bench coach for the Nationals, who has managed Mark Reynolds in Arizona. Chip told me a funny story today. He said, we were sitting playing Chicago a couple weeks ago or something, and you know, different guys, or maybe with Chicago, something like that, but different guys were coming in and out of the bullpen. Every other guy, they're just mixing and matching, and Chip was getting so mad. And Chip Hale said, I go, this is ridiculous, just complaining. He said, all of a sudden, Mark Reynolds looked at me and said, well, that's what you did when you managed in Arizona for 2 years.
Oh, nice. Here's Soto. He flied out to center to end the first inning. And he chased that one for a swinging strike.
Yeah, Chip said, I closed my mouth. I didn't talk the rest of the inning.
I guess not.
Soto's a perfect example of one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. Some of the Nationals folks said that he really wasn't on their radar early this spring, at least for 2018. But when Oscar Robles got hurt, making a diving catch and tore up his shoulder, well, this kid started taking off and was having an outstanding year in the low minor leagues, kind of like Ronald Acuna for the Braves. The higher the level and the better the competition, the better he played. And well, here he is, and he's given the Nats a big jolt.
6'1", 185.
Bouncing ball foul. 1-2.
He looks a little more built than 185.
He sure does. Coming into this season, playing in rookie ball, and I'm not even sure if it was Gulf Coast League, but he had a 352 minor league batting average. And look here with 2 strikes. Look how he's spread out.
Little roller slowly hit toward Freeman. He will apply the tag. And Juan Soto is retired, and so are the Nationals. Rendon with his second RBI. Turner with his second run. 2-2 game. One Braves app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this year. Get Braves home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Nationals 2, Braves 2. Inning 3 for Atlanta. It starts with Ozzie Albies, Freddie Freeman, and Nick Markakis versus Tanner Roark. And the first one is in for a strike. A changeup. It's 0-1. Shift on for Albies as Roark straightens him up. Roark rocks on the rubber and turns it loose, and a little pop. Long run for Turner. Soto's coming out, and the ball drops. Ozzie a big turn. He's in between, but scampers back. Here's a break. Turner and Soto got their wires crossed, and Atlanta gets a break. A blue pit for Albies starts the home third.
Sometimes those are the hits, Joe, that get you going.
Absolutely. They've been pitching him up and in, down and away. Tried to go hard up and in, soft away, and came in on him again. Look how deep Soto was playing, though.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, Turner, I know he stopped. That's Soto's ball right there. He's got to have that ball. It was in the air long enough. But as a young kid, you probably don't want to come in and crush your shortstop.
That would not be a good thing.
So, Jeff, let's see what Roark does with Freeman here. He fell behind him, 3 balls, no strikes. Freddie fouled one away for 3-1 and then popped up a 3-1 pitch into shallow right.
I told you, if he comes with that fastball against somewhere there, it's going to be hit hard somewhere.
Again, they shift with Albies at first, and he dives back. Freddie looking to extend his hitting streak to 13 games. The pitch. Breaking ball foul to the screen. It's an even count.
Someone was asking me the other day, Joe, do you think at the end of the year Freddie's going to catch Ozzie for home runs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Took a shot at left field, and it's out of play. It's 1-2.
Not that Ozzie's not going to hit anymore, but this is kind of new territory for him. For Freddie, you get used to 25 to 30 home runs or a little more.
Be nice to see Ozzie hit 30, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
And that's what's so interesting about this team. Where was the power supposed to come from? Braves have had just as much as anybody else in National League play. Freeman fouled that back. Still 1-2.
Nice play, Freddie.
And he makes the catch. Can do it all.
I'm just glad Dambolino didn't hit him in the face with that throw back to the pitcher.
The 1-2. Lay off the slow curve. It's even.
Severino, by the way, behind the plate has a great arm. If you didn't notice when he threw out Inciarte in the first inning. And he likes to throw.
Yeah, it's like anything. You think about it. If you're going to be the backup catcher, you better be able to do something like that. And with Wieters hurt.
Freddie shoots one through. The shift on the right side. And Atlanta's going to have him at third for sure. The throw to second gets away. Ozzie's coming home. Roark backs it up. No throw. Atlanta leads.
Great base running by Ozzie right there to be heads up.
That's what we've been seeing, Jeff. Putting pressure on the defense by going first to third. In this case, Freddie's the guy that extended it really by challenging Bryce Harper and trying to stretch a single into a double.
But look at Ozzie. What Ozzie does such a good job is when he rounds third, his eyes go right away to the ball, and he's able to see it in front of him. If you're just kind of pulling up into third and lollygagging, you don't make that play. Look at him. He's fired up.
That has scored a double. No RBI. The run scores on a throwing error by Harper. And Atlanta's back in front. Seesaw game. It's now 3-2 Braves. Nobody out for Markakis, who already has a double and a run. I love the reckless abandon with which the Braves are running the bases this year. They're gonna run in some outs, but you guys hit it on the head. They forced the Nationals to make a play and they couldn't.
Yeah, it's an attitude, and I think more than anything is when your best player does it like that, no one else has an excuse not to.
That's a really good point, Jeff. And we see Freddie talked about him on the road trip. He's a good base runner, and he runs well for a big guy.
I used to say that playing with Chipper. I'd watch Chipper. Chipper wasn't fast, but he would steal a base here and there, and he was smart. He knew when he could go and when he didn't. Like you said, when your best player does it, no one else can say anything.
1-1 pitch. And Roark getting a little frustrated here. He was staked to a 1-0 lead. Nationals got him even at 2 apiece, and he's given that run right back. And his pitch count's beginning to climb.
He's pitched so well against the Braves. Their pitching staff is so good. Their bullpen is so good. Get him over. You know, he might make a mistake here after kind of having a chat with himself, but it'd be really nice for Nick to get him over and get him in.
2-2.
Pretty nice pitch right there.
It's a real good pitch.
And Roark began his move to the plate. He was looking right at Freddie Freeman. His head was still turned at second base as he started his motion.
It's one of those 74-mile-per-hour curves that looks like it's going to be about 80, 82 slider, and just you cannot hold back.
Just doesn't get there.
Now the 2-2 pitch. And taken high, full count.
I know pitchers have success against certain teams or certain lineups, but one thing that's nice, he's had success against the Braves, but I also feel like in the 4 or 5 years he's faced the Braves, he hasn't faced this type of lineup either.
No, he hasn't. That's a good point too. These are different people.
Absolutely.
So this Nationals pitching staff, the starters that is, their walks and hits per inning pitched less than 1 per frame. Roark's had base runners all over the place in 2 of his 3 so far tonight. And he's got a full count for Markakis with Freddie at second. Pitch, ball 4, 2 on, nobody out. Something else to factor in. The National starters this month have allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in 28 of 29 games. Atlanta scored 3 runs already tonight.
And that's 3 walks already issued by Roark. 1 was intentional.
So Tyler Flowers, the batter, he walked in the second and scored the second Atlanta run. Pitch number 49 coming from Roark. Here it is. Swing and a hot shot. Rendon, great stop. Double clutch throw to first and just got him. What a play by Rendon at third base to save a run perhaps. But at least for Flowers, he'll take comfort knowing it's a productive out. Runners at second and third, 1 away.
Yeah, that'll work as well as a bunt, but it was almost and should have been a hit. Had to wait for the runner to go by.
Just able to keep his foot on the bag right there.
Yeah, that was close.
You know, one thing we talk about too a lot is as hitters in a 4-game series like this, being able to get the pitcher out of the game by the 4th or 5th and get this bullpen using on the first night. All of a sudden Saturday and Sunday can come back to help you too.
That's a big deal.
Camargo slashes one out of play.
But as Chip just pointed out, those good numbers for their starting rotation, it's just unbelievable how good they've been.
Well, Roark, a 2.77 lifetime ERA against the Braves. But Atlanta may be figuring some things out against him of late. The pitch right back where it came from. And Freeman's in a pickle between third and the plate. He'll try to stay in the rundown long enough to get both runners into scoring position. That mission accomplished, and he's tagged out.
It's the best he could do. Again, he's a good base runner.
Yep.
He was even waving Markakis over.
You can see here he just got stuck in no man's land, which is going to happen. You're going on contact there. Like you said, Frey did a great job letting Camargo get over to second.
There's really an art to that, and that is try to get them to throw the ball to third base so they're chasing you toward home plate and allowing that runner to advance.
Freddie knew right there it's going to take 2 throws. One there, one back to the catcher, and then I can give myself up.
So Atlanta's got him second, third, 2 outs now. Preston Tucker ambushed a first pitch last time up and drove home a run. Let's see what Roark has in mind here. 3-2 Atlanta. The inning started with a blooper that fell in front of Soto. And Tucker aggressively after that first pitch fouled it back. Roark's last 6 starts against the Braves. Atlanta has tagged him for a .471 ERA. They have 3 runs on 5 hits so far tonight. High pop. Rendon drifts out. Soto joins him. Rendon says he's got it, and he does. And Rendon made a great play at third base to save a run. The Nationals youngster at left couldn't catch a pop-up by Albies that plated the go-ahead run. Crazy start. We're through 3. Atlanta scored 3. 3-2 game. But after 3 in our head-to-head matchup with the Washington Nationals. Atlanta United's Joseph Martinez is in the house tonight cheering on his buddy and fellow Venezuelan Ender Inciarte. Martinez currently leads the MLS and Golden Boot race with 9 goals this year. Catch Joseph and the rest of the 5 Stripes Saturday against the Philadelphia Union. Coverage kicks off at 7 Eastern on Fox Sports Southeast.
What do you think if we did Chip's hair like that?
No, you're right. It isn't already like that, is it?
No, that's gray.
Braves win the that's a good point. If the Braves win the division, I'll do it. How's that?
Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm all about it.
All right.
I'm doing it too.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I'll take you to the salon I go to.
Yeah, me too.
Wait a minute, you go to a salon? Well, of course you go to a salon.
Yeah, of course.
Why wouldn't you? Here's Michael Taylor. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
I'll just get a rooster comb planted on my head.
I can't take this mop to a barbershop anymore.
Sean's strike-to-ball ratio is improving rapidly after a rocky start. And a slow roller hit toward third. Camargo's got it. settles and fires, and Taylor's retired for out number 1. So, Joe, one of your keys was the first inning. Sean got through that. That could have been a real rough patch. After the back-to-back walks to Turner and Harper, gave up just the 1 run, and now he leads by a run.
And I think he's just settled. I think he just amped up, kind of like he was in Boston.
Pedro Severino, a base hit, his first time up. And up and in.
I think one thing I love so much about Sean and how far he's come is, like you said, 22 pitches in the first inning, got out of it, and now he's being real efficient. He's on pace for, 6 2/3, 7 innings, which is something he didn't do last year.
No, he's got that extra weapon, his changeup. He's getting some weak ground balls. Love that. But sometimes you can give the hitters on a good ball club too much credit. And they are good, but you are too. And that's where the difference I've seen in Sean is he's gained confidence that he can pitch at this level.
And he, just like you said earlier, that was 2-0. He threw a changeup right there. You said earlier he's got to be able to throw those pitches and hitters counts. And he's doing that now.
Little pop. Freeman at first in foul ground, and he's got it. And that's the second out.
Right there is a perfect example, Joe, of what you said. He threw a 2-0 changeup, got him out in front. So now Severino in his mind's thinking, wow, he threw me a 2-0 changeup. And then you throw 93 in right there and you jam him. Where if you throw that pitch right there 2-0, there's a good chance it's getting whacked.
It's going to get hit. He was very late on that.
How tough is it, guys, to make an adjustment against Newcomb, who has that third pitch now, which he didn't really have in his first start? I mean, you've seen it on tape, you see it on video, but clearly he's not the same guy.
I tell you, get to the big leagues, the difference between facing a guy that's got 2 pitches and 3 pitches is just, it's everything. You got 2 pitches, you can lock in and out on this, but when you got 3 and you can throw it at different times, it gets really, really tough to hit.
1-1 to the pitcher. Roark takes down and in, ball 2.
Scouting reports, Chip, and video are one thing. It's not until you get in there that you understand how a guy is using that third pitch.
Ground ball to short. Dansby's got it, and he throws to first. High toss, but Freddie kept the bag, and Newcomb has a shutdown 4th inning. Atlanta looks to add to a 3-2 lead. They're coming up in the home 4th. Swanson, Sean Newcomb, and Ender Inciarte are coming up against longtime nemesis Tanner Roark. Before the Braves try to add to their 1-run lead, let's step aside for a message from Synovus.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Synovus, the bank of here.
Ryan Snitker and the Braves trying to get to 10 games over 500 again and get back in first place. Another big difference between the Braves and Nationals is their work against the National League East. This is the Braves' 36th game against their division. Atlanta's 22-13 against the East. Washington has played only 19 games, counting tonight's action against their division foes, and they've won just 10 of 18.
Yeah, that surprised me too. I was surprised that they had played so few games against the rest of the East. And the National League East is tough.
And we have, I'm sure the least amount of games we've played against someone in the National League after tonight's probably Miami too. Still got quite a bit of games left with them.
That's right.
I think we've only seen them, what, six or seven times.
Dansby Swanson's the Braves' 8th place hitter. He starts the 4th inning and takes ball 1. Yeah, the Braves are 5-2 against Miami, 7-3 against New York, 7-5 against the Phillies, and so far 3-3 against the Nationals. There's a strike to even the count. So if winning your divisional games is what leads you to a division championship, well, the Braves are holding up that end of the bargain after the first 2 months of the year.
I know there's been a lot of talk too about the Interleague and the National League Central being able to play the AL Central.
Right.
And they just happen to luck out this year that they get that division where we have to play the East. Which in the AL East, besides Baltimore, everybody's can play right now.
Rendon at third. Gloves grabbed and guns high to first, but Dansby retired. No problem. 1 out.
And where that really comes into play is for the wild card.
I still don't like Interleague. I know people like the matchups, and I get it. It's great. You get to see the Braves go to Boston. You get to see them play Yankees. But the fact of the matter is we have to play Boston every year because they're our rival.
Well, unless they commit to expansion, interleague play is locked in because you got 15 teams in each division, each league rather.
You got Vegas.
Somebody's got to cross over.
Expansion Vegas, 2 teams.
I can't imagine anybody not wanting to go there.
Sean Newcomb reached on a fielder's choice, drove in his first run as a big league hitter back in the 2nd inning. He bats with the bases empty and 1 out here. Well, to put that discussion into perspective, the National League East is 13-8 against the American League East so far. The National League Central is 24-14 against their AL counterparts. So more games, but 11 more wins for the Central Division foes. And the Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Pirates all sitting at 29 wins. At the moment, the Braves with 32, the Phillies 30, New York 27.
And the Brewers are just running away with that thing right now.
Ender Inciarte with 2 outs as our Yellowwood bringing the lumber feature.
Base hit to left, robbed of a hit to left. Let's see if they pitch him any differently.
At the knees, a strike. Ender looking for his 18th multi-hit game tonight. His first was a first-inning single. And that around the plate. Tell how muggy it is. Look at the royal blue umpiring shirt of Dan Bellino behind the plate. Already soaked through, and we're not even halfway through the game tonight. It is sticky. Ball and 2 strikes. All the rain we've had in Metro Atlanta, all that moisture now starting to rise from the ground with the warm sunny skies we've had here the last couple of days. 1-2 pitch is stroked off the glove of Roark, who recovers from the top of the mound and made a nice play. It's 2 good plays by Roark in as many innings. Atlanta out of luck in the 4th. 3-2 still. I'm here in Atlanta. Sean Newcomb ready for his 5th inning. He leads 3-2. He's got the 9, 1, and 2 hitters coming up. As always, our 5th inning is presented by Audi. First pitch swing, Defoe to short. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Love that.
No better way to start an inning.
Four groundouts among that 6 retired run for Newcomb. And now Turner the hitter. Let's see if Sean can take care of him. That's an excellent start. Strike 1. Turner's 24. He'll be 25 in late June. There's the big curveball from Sean. He's got Turner behind in the count 0-2.
He hasn't even used that pitch much.
No.
So something else for him to think about in the middle innings. The 0-2 pitch. Way off the plate. It's 1-2. Phillies are in Los Angeles tonight. Phillies and Dodgers meeting in the finale of that series. Boy, they've got a great matchup. Aaron Nola and Clayton Kershaw at Dodger Stadium. Popped up. First base side. Freeman in the first base coaching box is there. And Turner is subdued for the first time. 2 out.
Well, you knew with the Braves coming up on the Dodgers schedule that Kershaw would be back.
Well, of course.
Has to.
It's a major league rule.
Can't miss him.
So we'll let Jerome tell you the particulars of that game. He'll have a game break for us in just a few minutes.
Now, you never know if it's Thursday night. Question is, do they have an off day on Monday or Thursday?
And it could happen.
And because if they do, then we would probably miss them.
I want to see him pitch. I love watching Kershaw pitch, but I don't have to hit against him. So Harper takes a strike.
Another first pitch strike.
Different guy all of a sudden. Newcomb's been given the lead. He's rattled off 7 consecutive outs. As Joe mentioned, the Nationals been middling at best against left-handed starting pitching. And a dribbler back to the mound. Newcomb's got it. Harper out in front. 8 up, 8 down. He did that. 1-2-3 frame on just 7 pitches. So Newcomb's in line to win it. Let's see if the Braves can add on. Top of the order coming up. It's 3-2 Braves in game 1. Three-2 Atlanta, bottom of the 5th inning. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Braves against Tanner Roark. Sean Newcomb has settled in very nicely. Now let's see if the Braves can add on. It's time for our Lowe's Whole Team Together feature of the game.
top of the order has contributed so much to that. They're not the only ones. It's not to imply that the bottom half of the order is not doing their part. They are. But the top half has been so consistent.
Albies with 66 hits now. Took inside from Roark, ball 2. Little pop up to shallow left. Soto and Turner couldn't communicate. The ball dropped safely, and that's turned into the go-ahead run to this point. And as he almost got hit, 3-0. Will he be green lighted? We'll never know. It wasn't close enough to swing at. And Roark, uncharacteristically, guys, has now walked 4 Braves tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure leading off the inning with Freddie right there, he wasn't swinging right there.
That might be a season high for Roark.
Let's check. Freddie's popped out. He's doubled tonight.
He walked 4 in his second start of the year against the Mets.
That's probably about 32 degrees too.
Might have been.
Ground ball. Reynolds makes a gorgeous play. The throw to second. And now Albies in a rundown. The force taken away, and he can't outrun the Nationals' first baseman. That was outstanding work. And the Braves are out of luck. Quickly 2 outs.
Well, Reynolds broke in as a third baseman. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play. And especially where the Rockies are concerned, they had a kind of a hole at first base. Ian Desmond's been playing there some. But with this guy's numbers, I'm surprised they didn't try to re-up him.
Someone dropped the ball out there on that one.
Woo. So that's 3 unassisted to get Freeman. Albies retired 3-5-3. It was Rendon that handled the relay. And now Markakis with 2 outs hits. Little pop left side. Turner is there. He's got it. And after the leadoff walk, Roark makes quick work of the Braves in the 5th.
Time for an Xfinity game break, and it is a sight for sore eyes for Dodgers fans. Clayton Kershaw back on the mound. And let me tell you, this is one bizarre play. They're hosting the Phillies out there in Los Angeles, and Alfaro the bloop single. And watch Michael Franco as he rounds third. He never touches the plate, but he's ruled safe because the catcher dropped the ball. You still got to touch the plate. Kershaw, the real story. 5 strikeouts through 5. They have gone to the 6th. They are now even at 1 apiece, fellas.
How does that happen?
Surely they made a review on that, didn't they?
Did he score?
They called him safe.
Yeah, but you can go back and look.
Wow. Speaking of dropping the ball.
I mean, Franco didn't even try.
Don't get me started. Here's Rendon. 8 up, 8 down for Newcomb. Rendon's knocked in both Nationals runs, and he rifles one to deep left. Tucker back, and that's off the base of the wall. Rendon around first, on his way to second. The throw on the money, but a little late. Rendon is almost single-handedly keeping the Nationals alive in this game. A leadoff double. His second hit of the night.
He's a smart player. At last inning, all those first pitch strikes fired by Sean Newcomb, he was ready for one, got his foot down quickly.
Tell you, as nice as that was, though, Preston Tucker did a great job out here playing this ball off the wall. He gave him a little bit of scare at second.
Yeah, strong throw.
So Reynolds is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and popped out. He'll try to get Rendon to third or better. And ball 1 to the Nationals first baseman. 2 runs, 4 hits for Washington. They've committed an error. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Braves. Atlanta has stranded 4 and is errorless to this point. Ground ball to third. That'll help. Camargo with a strong arm makes a perfect throw. Reynolds can't advance Rendon. 1 out. And that'll bring up Soto, who's 0 for 2. Man, it's so great to see what's happening all around Major League Baseball. All the terrific young players that are coming up in their early 20s, and in the case of Soto, still in their teens. You know about Albies and Acuna here in Atlanta, Mike Soroka, Luis Gohara, Gleyber Torres with the Yankees. I mean, there's a big list of just great talent all around Major League Baseball blossoming this year. Bodes so well for our sport in the years to come.
Well, I think part of it is, you know, some of these teams who are rebuilding and going through some of these processes, when they have a young guy like that, it's tough to keep him out of the big leagues, especially when you're trying to sell to your fan base that we're rebuilding and coming back. And I think you're seeing some of these young guys get the opportunity. You know, for instance, with us, you know, how could you tell people we're not trying to win if you didn't bring Acuna up eventually?
A strike.
You know, when you know that's the best option.
That's why I wonder if at some point, when the need rises for help in the bullpen to shore it up some, that the Braves go to some of those young guys that are starters and have been starting in the minor leagues, but come up and serve an apprenticeship and see how they do up here out of the bullpen.
Wasn't that how it used to be?
Yeah, it was.
Back in the dark ages?
Yeah, I was there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Rendon at second with 1 out and taken low.
I heard stories.
Yeah. Read it in a book, didn't you?
Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know how many books I've read.
When I mentioned Soroka and Gohara, Mike's supposed to pitch tomorrow in Rome in a rehab assignment. If all goes well there, there's a possibility, Brian Snitker said, he could be with the team out west. As this one's lifted toward Tucker and left. Preston backs up, shy of the track, hauls it in. And the unproductive out by Reynolds may have just cost the Nationals a run for the moment. There's the second out. And another name that is certainly still very interesting for the Braves is Luis Gohara. Luis has gone back to Brazil to tend to his ailing mother. He is on the bereavement list. That bereavement list is supposed to end, I believe, today. And it's hoped that Gohara will be back sometime this weekend. If not, because he's still attending to his mom, he'd have to be moved from the bereavement list to the restricted list, which is a technicality. But Atlanta hoping he'll be back sooner rather than later, and he'll return in a role yet to be determined for the Braves.
I don't know this to be 100%. But I think if you're on the restricted list, then you probably don't count against the 40-man roster if they needed to
I think you're right.
Make some maneuvering around there.
And we're told by our ace rules expert upstairs, Jared Burleson, that that is correct.
That's a tough thing, especially for when your mom's down there in Brazil and you're all the way up here. And
he lost his
can
dad
only
during
imagine.
the winter. Yeah.
Yep.
Taylor went around. It's 0-2 quickly.
A little bit of breeze kicks up.
Hopefully that'll refresh the humidity-drenched fans down below. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Newcomb brings it. And Taylor lays off the breaking ball. Cubs are in New York beating the Mets. That's 3-0 at Citi Field. Seth Lugo started that game for the Metropolitans. Pirates 4, Cardinals 4, 5th inning in St. Louis. Miami and San Diego just underway. Here it's 3-2. Washington batting in the 6th. Two and two. Tigers won today. They beat the Angels 6-2.
Won that series. Tigers can't get out of their own way. They're trying to.
They're a terrible tanking team, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
And in that division, who knows?
Tigers are in second place. Swing and a miss. What a job by Newcomb. He's sent down 11 of 12 and works around a leadoff double to protect a 3-2 lead. Resumed hostilities. Bryce Harper and Freddie Freeman squaring off. Washington scored the first run of the game. The Braves came back with 2 in the second. Washington tied it up 2-2 in the third, and then a crazy third inning put Atlanta in front, and Sean Newcomb, guys, has done the rest. He's retired 11 of his last 12 men. That's our Cricket Wireless Something to Smile About feature. Here in the 6th, Tyler Flowers leads off. Camargo and Tucker to follow, and Tyler gets hit by a pitch. Another leadoff man on for the Braves. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in the first 6 innings tonight.
I'm going to venture a guess that that won't even leave a mark.
I was going to say Tyler's going to feel that one in the morning.
71 miles an hour.
I wish he'd have put his arm up. He could have caught that with his arm.
Yeah, right up
Right
under his
up under
armpit.
the pit, man.
Well, let's cash these opportunities in, shall we? Camargo is 0 for 2. (3-2) Atlanta. Although I will say it's kind of nice to see the Braves have some offense working in the early innings, not just the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah, it's true.
It's an exciting way to play, but boy, oh boy, is it stressful. Stressful game enough tonight. 1-run Atlanta lead. And that just missed. Ball 2.
I'll say Dan Bellino's got a good strike zone behind the dish tonight.
Done a nice job.
Braves are trying to snap Washington's 10-game road winning streak tonight. And a sharply hit ball to second. That'll be played beautifully. And a strong throw for a double play. Flowers in no man's land. Defoe trapped it. And for the second straight inning, the Braves are doubled up.
You're not old enough for this, Jeff, but Chip is. Do you remember the World Series between the Dodgers and the Yankees, Chip? And on a similar play where Reggie Jackson was at first, he knew he wasn't sure if it was going to be caught or not, so he just froze. And then when the relay came from Bill Russell to Garvey for the double play, stuck that sizable right pocket out.
Yes, that's a nice way of putting it, right?
And let the ball bounce off of him.
And then chaos ensued, if memory serves.
Yeah. Dodgers were very upset that no interference was called on that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pass on that one.
Yeah, I'll show you that book again.
1 ball, no strikes.
I didn't think I was born for that.
No, you weren't.
What year was that?
70.
Yeah, no.
4,
5, somewhere there, mid-70s.
I have to ask my dad about that
Well,
one.
quote the great Will Ferrell. Break out the Google machine. Base is empty for Roark. 1-1 pitch. Broken bat liner is caught by the ball boy in the right field corner. Nice play.
You know, I told you last night the bats are running anywhere from 100 to 150, depending on the brand and the type of wood that you use. The curious one was Ozzie Albies. Ozzie wants a very thin handle, but he can't use maple. The restrictions on the maple breaking so easily, he has to use ash, and that's why he uses the brand that he uses.
Interesting.
Yeah, maple's got to be a certain amount, length, weight, or they won't let you use it because they say it's basically just a sword waiting to be thrown in the stands.
Well, we saw that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Those bats exploding all over the place.
Splinter machine.
2 balls and a strike. And that one hammered foul. It's 2-2.
It is different because I remember when I first came up talking to Chipper, Julio, some of those guys, they used a heavy bat. And I think, you know, we were, myself, B-Mac, some of those guys, Kelly, we were kind of in between, but guys use some light bats these days.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Tucker. And that one a comebacker. Roark has fielded his position beautifully tonight. Now he needs some offensive help. Well, he'll try to help himself. He's coming up second in the 7th in a 1-run game in Atlanta. 11 of 12 men. His good work, fellas, is tonight's SunTrust confidence play.
And why not? 83 pitches. When you think about how hard he had to work in the first inning, gave up the 1 run, could have been a whole lot worse, and since then he's really settled down.
He's got the bottom part of the order, starting with the catcher Pedro Severino. And Newcomb trying for the second time this year to get an out in the 7th inning. 7 innings is his season high. That came May 2nd when he shut out the Mets.
The one odd stat on that line that we just showed you was 1 strikeout, and that was the last hitter he faced last inning, Michael Taylor.
Well, not throwing a lot of strikeout balls has kept his pitch count down.
Sure has.
After throwing 22 pitches in the first, that was just his 86th. And he's got the first out of the inning. So understand what I'm saying when I make this comparison. That's what Sandy Koufax used to say. I don't want to strike anybody out. I want him to hit my pitch and get out early in the count. Maybe that's helping Sean navigate his way through 6 1/3 innings of 2-run balls so far.
And I think what was so nice was that at bat right there. He went first pitch curveball, second pitch changeup, for a seamer and ground ball. But being able to throw those for strikes has been huge.
That's the key. Once the hitters, and you know this really well, once the guys come back to the dugout and tell you, hey, he can't get his curveball over, hey, he can't get his slider over, don't worry about it, then all of a sudden you can eliminate a pitch out of the arsenal and go to work.
Get Roark. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now it's 1-2. Not surprising that Roark's going to stay in this game. He has thrown 5 consecutive quality starts for the Nationals. So not only are they getting great results, they're all going deep in the games. This one bounced to second. And Albies easy flip takes care of the Nationals starter. That's the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising when you see how Newcomb started the game, and you talk about Tanner having guys all over the base pass, but yet they're both been very efficient with their pitches.
It's 12 ground ball outs.
Yeah, 27 pitches for Newcomb over his last 2 2/3 innings after throwing 22 in the opening frame. And now Wilmer Defoe, the batter. Defoe's flied out and grounded out. And a strike. Newcomb trying to beat the Nationals for the first time in his career. He's ahead of Defoe now, 0-2.
Tell you what, Joe, if he gets out of it right here, it's kind of hard not to send him back out for the 8th.
No question. I was just thinking the same
Especially
thing.
with Harper coming up, the lefty.
Well, he's due 2nd in the inning. The Braves bullpen is working now. And that one's tipped and caught. His 2nd strikeout. He's set down 14 of his last 15. And he sends us to the 7th inning stretch with a 3-2 Atlanta lead. It is time to stretch at SunTrust Park. It's also time to join Jerome Jurinovich.
It's time for the stretch, presented by Advance Auto Parts and brought to you in part by Valvoline. Welcome to the stretch. Jerome out here on the set with Brian Jordan, and we have been making a push to send Nick Markakis to his first All-Star game. And boy, I tell you what would go a long way is if he would win Player of the Month honors in May. And BJ, you could make a good case that he should be the only one really considered. With that double in his first at bat tonight, he tied San Francisco's Brandon Crawford for the most hits in the month.
Right.
All right, he already has the most multi-hit games going with the Braves here. His year this year has been absolutely phenomenal. We're used to his quiet consistency, but look at those numbers in the top 5 in average hits, doubles, total bases, a couple of game-winning RBI. This year he has had his best year by far as a member of the Braves.
Well, no question about it. He is really dialed in at that number 4 spot, hitting behind Freddie. He's been consistent because he's at that same spot every game. Last year, we remember he moved all over the place, leadoff, second, third. Now he has a chance to just relax, watch these guys get on base, and just feel good about himself. I mean, we knew what type of player he is, but now this year, he's letting it all go. I love what I see out of this kid. Not only the player of the month, but he should be an all-star.
No question about it. Before we send you back up to the boys, let's hear a quick word from our friends at Advance Auto Parts.
Now until June 27th, purchase 5 quarts of any Valvoline motor oil at Advance Auto Parts. Upload your receipt at teamvalvoline.com/advance, and you'll receive a Pit Pal bobblehead of your choice.
Thank you, Jerome. Great job on the stretch. Atlanta's coming up in the bottom half with the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up. And a big powwow in the Braves dugout with Walt Weiss, Brian Snitker, Chuck Hernandez, Kevin Seitzer. Maybe the biggest decision of the game is coming up for Brian Snitker as to whether or not to leave Newcomb in and try to go through the top of this Nationals lineup a 4th time.
Well, I think you just got your answer. I just saw Ryan Flaherty come out of the dugout with his helmet.
Well, he's due to hit second, so if that's it for Newcomb, what a magnificent performance after a shaky first. He retired 14 of his last 15 hitters, struck out 2, got a lot of ground ball outs, and had the Nationals hitters off balance all night, with the exception of Anthony Rendon. But let's see if Atlanta can give him a little more of a cushion. Dansby Swanson leads off. He's walked intentionally and grounded out to third.
Well, you go back and look, Turner and Rendon really are the only 2 that have given Sean some problems, and they're up first and third, and of course everybody knows what Harper does. So my guess is Snit's just, you know what, he's been through the lineup 3 times. Let's let the bullpen do their job for 6 outs.
And you got Winkler up ready to go in the 8th.
2 balls and a strike for Dansby. Roark ready, and the pitch is low and outside. Again, Atlanta's got the leadoff man on in 5 of the 6 innings against Roark. 2 of those leadoff men have scored.
Well, if he gets on, you might save your bench if you wanted to bunt him over.
Yep.
And send Newcomb back up there.
Late swing. Newcomb's an option. You could bunt Julio Teheran if you wanted to. But it's all predicated on Dansby getting on, and he'll face a 3-2 pitch. Roark, he's thrown 86 pitches tonight. 3-2. Dansby swings and misses. Come back for Roark. That is his 3rd strikeout and his 1st since the 4th inning. And it will be Flaherty for Newcomb. 7 innings of 2-run ball for Sean. Newcomb walked the first 2 batters, didn't walk anybody after that. Really a great comeback. And Flaherty shoots one foul over third, out of play, strike 1.
That makes 6 straight starts for Newcomb without a home run allowed.
Well, what I like about it is what you said, Joe. He's only got 2 strikeouts, but I think it shows him I don't have to go out there and strike out 8 guys.
It's a great example of that. And throwing strikes against a team that everybody fears because of their lineup and what they can do and hit the long ball. And once he got past that in the 1st inning, he was throwing it, especially first pitch strikes.
Little ground ball to first. Flaherty rolls over. Reynolds at the bag. 2 outs.
1-run lead, though. Precarious against that lineup.
Here's Ender, a 1st inning single. Soto robbed him of a run scoring hit in the 2nd. He tapped back to the mound to end the Braves' 4th.
And I promise you, as defensive guys out there, you appreciate when your pitcher's pounding the strike zone, giving you a chance. You're awake, comfortable.
Roark's an out away from facing the minimum over his last 4 innings. No balls and a strike. And an even count. Line into left, and Soto's got to play that on a hop. So Ender has his 18th multi-hit game. And Roark will have to go back to the stretch with Ozzie Albies coming up. Runner at first, 2 outs.
I would love to put all 3 of the balls he's hit tonight out there to left field and see how far apart they were, Joe.
Isn't that the truth?
Can't be far.
And that's a curveball. Served it out there. That's a good night for Ender, and as Chip said earlier, it's a good sign. Maybe you said that. A good sign that he's hitting the ball the other way.
Ozzie's 1 for 2. Remember, the difference in this game was a bloop between the shortstop and left fielder that Soto didn't catch. And Ozzie came around to score the 3rd Atlanta run. On Freddie Freeman's base hit and a Harper throwing error. The pitch. Tried to get out of the way and swung through it. No balls and a strike.
Starting a little early.
I think he was going for broke right there. He was trying to send that one deep.
Hope he didn't hurt himself.
So with 2 outs either, I wouldn't mind seeing Ender take a chance to get to second here.
Well, that's a Scherzer move. Hold the ball. Come set. Hold it. Ender's been caught in 4 of his last 5 stolen base attempts.
No balls and a strike. He's chased back here. And the thinking with 2 outs, if Ender goes and he makes it, he's in scoring position. If he doesn't, you lead off the 8th with Albies ahead of Freddie Freeman.
Especially where just that 1 run would be so big right here to give yourself some breathing room.
No balls, 1 strike. Way outside, even count.
The pitch that Ender got thrown out on earlier tonight, back in the 1st inning, was not a pitch out, but the same as. It was a pitch up and away for Severino.
Another half step on the lead, not going. The pitch taken outside. It's 2-1. I believe there is action in the Nationals bullpen as Roark at around 100 pitches now, and Freeman waiting on deck.
Roark's really been trying to get that fastball in on Ozzie tonight. Really trying to pound him in.
The pitch.
Hammered down the right field line. Harper's got to chase it. Ender around second on his way to 3rd. Ball dies at the base of the wall. They're going to wave him. Here comes the throw. The throw to the plate. Late. Ozzie on his way to 3rd, and the Braves get an insurance run.
You tomahawked that one, Jeff.
Hey, he tried to come in. I'll tell you, the biggest break we caught, Joe, was that ball stuck right against the wall. Otherwise, I think we got a bang at home plate. He tried to come in, just didn't get it in.
And look at that, it's stuck in the padding.
If it doesn't do that, I'm telling you, I think we have a very close play at home.
No question.
So the Nationals walk Freddie Freeman intentionally. And now Dave Martinez out chatting with Dan Bellino.
Joe, I would think he's trying to talk to him about if that ball got stuck under. Let me ask you this. After you intentionally walk a guy, I think it's done, isn't it?
It's over. It should be over. The play's
over. You've already had a new sequence. And did Harper ever throw his hands up and say, hey, I need help here?
No, he did not.
Nope, he went in. The ball is clearly not stuck under there. It's sitting on the line.
That's true.
Yeah.
They're going to take a look at this.
Or I think Tom Hallion might be telling him, listen, you already walked a guy.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. They're not going to replay.
No.
Once the intentional walk is issued, it's like no chance to review it. But clearly on that excellent camera work by our Fox crew, you could see the ball was not stuck or lodged under the padding. It clearly had come back and was sitting on the warning track. So for Roark, the Inciarte hit, the Albies triple. Freeman intentionally walked. And now the Nationals manager to the center of the diamond. He'll pat Roark on the back. A job well done, but he's on the short end of a 4-2 Atlanta decision in the 7th.
The Georgia Lottery. And by the All-South Highway Safety Team. The All-South Highway Safety Team reminds you to play it safe by always wearing your seatbelt.
Boy, what a big run that is, scored by Ender Inciarte on an Albies double. He took third on a throw. He's 90 feet away. Atlanta by 2, and now they'll face left-hander Tim Collins. Nick Markakis, that batter, with 2 outs. How many times, guys, have we said it? Atlanta with 2 outs. Atlanta scoring runs 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. They did it again tonight.
Yeah, 2 outs, nobody on tonight. This guy's got a 89 to 92 fastball, and as you said, in between innings or during the break, Jeff, a real good curveball.
Yep. I was talking to him before the game. His wife's 39 and a half weeks pregnant right now, too.
Oh.
He said he's just waiting on the phone call.
The Nationals signed Collins to a minor league deal right before New Year's Day in 2017. Was originally with Toronto. The Braves got him with Alex Gonzalez and Tyler Pasternicki for Yunel Escobar and Jojo Reyes in 2010. The Braves then sent him to Kansas City in the Kyle Farnsworth, Rick Ankiel deal. And he walked Markakis, not what Dave Martinez had in mind. And to your point about Collins with Kansas City, 220 strikeouts in 4 years with the Royals. That's more than any left-handed reliever in the history of the Royals franchise. Pretty amazing. But he couldn't throw a strike tonight, and he'll be taken down with right-hand hitting Tyler Flowers coming up. Atlanta's got 6 walks tonight, 5 of them by Tanner Roark, which matches his career high, and Collins departs. A very quick night for him. Game on the bases for the Braves. 2-run lead. He's 90 feet away. Tyler Flowers will be the Atlanta hitter. Before we tell you who the new Washington pitcher is, let's enjoy a message from Synovus.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Synovus, the bank of here.
Well, here in Atlanta, it's Wander Suero.
A lot of cutters. Cutters, curveball, changeup. 10th game for him. A few walks in there, 4 walks in 8+ innings. That cutter, probably the reason why lefties are only hitting $167 against him.
Suero, we're told, is a tall right-handed pitcher boasting an electric arm and strong mound presence. We'll see if those things are in play here with.
Those are wonderful tidbits.
Has anybody ever had a bad tidbit in there?
Not the Washington guy, no. As Flowers bats with the bases loaded. Chance to deliver the dagger here, perhaps. And one thing about Flowers in this situation, Joe, he has been exceptionally patient at the plate. Wasn't on that swing.
Yeah, a couple of bases loaded walks that I recall not too long ago.
Here's wouldn't mind a cutter in the dirt that got away to steal a run. The 0-1 pitch. And there's that patience inside. Even count. Suero had 30 minor league saves coming into the season. Maybe he's a closing candidate for the future for them. The pitch. Way outside. 2-1.
I got a text from my sister Jan earlier out in Oklahoma. She and my brother-in-law Scotty watch just about every night, but she said this team makes me want to watch tomorrow night. You know, meaning every night they do something exciting, and I think that's what's caught the fancy of all the Braves fans, is they are really fun to watch.
That's all I hear from so many people.
2-1. Popped up. This one's going to stay in play, I think. Rendon is there. It's out of play. I was wrong. Thank you.
Anthony going down the steps. That was lovely.
Glad I didn't back you up on that one.
Well, and Joe, to your point, I think a lot of that excitement is because what the Braves have done in the late innings. Always leave them wanting more, give them a finish. They don't always win, but they play a hard 9.
Well, I think it's something Joe said earlier, too, with the base running. It's how we run the bases, too. People appreciate hustling, good baseball playing, and being smart. And we do fundamentally, we do the little things really, really well.
Well, remember, Freddie's base running play on that 3rd inning sequence forced the action for Harper. He made a bad throw, and Atlanta got a run out of it. Pitch. Fouled away. Good cut. They play hard. They played aggressively. Ordinarily, they don't strike out. They put the ball in play. A lot of action out of Brian Snitker's bunch here in 2018 to this point. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded pitch. And that split the plate, and Tyler knew it. So Suero makes a big pitch to help the Nationals escape further trouble. But Atlanta adds an insurance run. It's 4-2 behind Sean Newcomb. Between the Braves and Nationals, our coverage starts at 7 Eastern Time on Fox Sports South. It's the Friday Night Showdown presented by Kaiser Permanente. Folks, if you like mid-90s fastballs, this is the game for you. Mike Foltynewicz for Atlanta. Steven Strasburg will pitch for the Nationals. Guys, Mike coming off that masterful outing against Chris Sale and the Red Sox his last time out. So 7 innings for Sean Newcomb. He turns it over to the Atlanta bullpen. Our Synovus Greatness Made Here feature.
Excellent numbers against the Nats. 1.33 ERA. Opponent's average very low. Cut down on those walks would be perfect.
Get the first guy. Get the second guy. And Trey Turner, the leadoff man. He has gotten on twice. A walk, a single. He's stolen 2 bags and he scored 2 runs. Peter Borges, just brought back from Gwinnett, takes over for Preston Tucker defensively. He's in left.
Dustin Peterson sent back.
Yeah, it split the plate, even count.
What you just said, Chip, is so important because thanks to that extra run there in the bottom of the 7th, if you get this first guy, it doesn't matter what the second guy does.
Right.
Bryce Harper.
The reason I said get the second guy too, because Rendon has been the best hitter for Washington in this game tonight.
And I think that might be part of the reason that Snit went ahead and bought Winkler in. So, you know, if you're going to take him out after Harper, you might as well give Winkler a chance to start a fresh, clean inning and let him go out there.
We just saw a very interesting shot in the Washington dugout. Here's an area where the game has changed. See the iPads? They can watch the opposing pitcher in real time with a video scouting report and the paperwork right there on the bench. They don't have to run to a video room anymore. He went. Oh, he did.
Come on.
Tom Hallion says he didn't swing. Full count.
Tom Hallion loves to ring people up too.
Tom, if you had hit that, it'd have been a double.
Wow.
Come
on the
Tom.
house.
Mercy.
Need to tune in tomorrow night to see a strike 3 call. Best in the game.
Love it. My fave.
It's going to pull out a back muscle one day.
Strike 4 takes care of Turner. So Winkler gets that all-important first man, and here's Bryce Harper.
You know, we talked right before we came on about Folty, and I said I think that was Folty's biggest start as an Atlanta Brave was Sunday in Boston. You know, we had lost both games. You're facing Chris Sale. They're going for the sweep. You know you got to match zeros usually with this guy. And for him to do what he did to give him some confidence coming home.
Yeah, he really did step up.
With that strikeout of Turner, right-hand hitters are 5 for 50 against Dan Winkler. And now opponents tonight in Atlanta, but potentially all-star teammates for the National League, squaring off with one out in the 8th. Bryce Harper for Washington, Winkler for Atlanta. He tied him up inside, ball 1. At least I think Winkler deserves a great deal of consideration.
Yeah.
If he keeps up at even close to this pace, he should be on the all-star team.
That was a pretty nasty cutter right there at 92.
I think one of the most impressive stats you'll see versus him if you look up at the scoreboard for Winkler's OPS versus right-handed hitters, 292. You would think a lot of times that's an average or on-base percentage.
Yeah.
Well, of the 50 outs he's gotten, 23 have been via strikeout by right-hand hitters. I mean, that is just ridiculously overpowering.
We need to send Colorado a thank you note.
Well, to think where Dan was just a couple of years ago, coming back from the Tommy John, successfully managed that, came back, pitched in the first couple of games of the season against the Cardinals, fractured his elbow at Turner Field, made it back, and pitching like this. Well, you talk about persistence and dedication and commitment. Well, here he is.
This has been a good sequence. He got a call on a slider down in the zone. He fouled off a fastball that was on the inner half. Now he's set him up, I think, for that cutter. Run it right in on him.
Yep, here it comes.
Flowers held it there, but it was off the plate. Good try. It's 2-2.
It's a good pitch right there, though.
Now what do you do, boys?
I think this is the cutter.
And Harper was all over it, but he pulled it foul and stays alive.
The one before was a slider that he got under a little bit.
I'd almost like to see him go two-seamer away now.
Everybody that has been pitching around Bryce has been working him away, pitching him away, not giving him much to hit. And he's been expanding his zone, so they're going to try it.
Tyler to a knee to receive this pitch. And Winkler got it there, but Harper laid off. Good try, good call, fellas. Now he's gone 3-2.
Now you got to make a good pitch here. You got to throw a strike. At the risk of him hitting it to Buckhead, you got to throw a strike.
He went around. Harper expanded the zone. Joe, great call. And a great result. 2 out.
Hey, you don't see Bryce expand the zone much, but he swung a ball 4 right there.
Sure did.
So Harper 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. And the same holds true for Anthony Rendon. He too can hit one to Buckhead, and the Braves would still lead. He jumped all over a first pitch in the 6th inning and doubled off the wall in left. A sac fly and an RBI single his other trips. And he had that one centered up and fouled it back toward us. Strike 1. Braves trying to snap the Nationals' 6-game winning streak, trying to snap their 10-game road winning streak, and trying to make a late May, early June statement to the Nationals that this is not a 2-month fluke here in Atlanta. Braves have split the first 6 games, 3 apiece with Washington in the first 2 series played.
I said it on radio the other day. You don't go through 60 games and be a fluke.
No.
You have 20, 30 game stretches, but this is a good team.
That's why at Memorial Day, it's a good measure of how good you really are.
Yeah,
what you've done
through the season.
And I would think too, this is an important series for Alex Anthopoulos and the Braves front office. He's evaluating this team on the fly as the new general manager. Pop fly foul and out of play.
I think one thing he's probably having not a difficult time, but a time getting to know with some of the minor league players. Okay, if we do happen to make a trade, you know, what are we working with? Because, you know, you always know some of the guys in the big leagues. He's watching baseball. He knows who Ozzie and Inciarte are, but what about the guy in AA?
Right.
1-2 pitch. I think it's safe to say, and this is meant in no way as a slight, but I would assume that Alex knows everybody else a little better than he knows his own franchise at this point.
I would say it would be the case at the beginning of the season. I'm not so sure anymore. I think he's had ample time to be acquainted with just about every guy on every roster.
Well, he has to like what this 25-man squad's done tonight, leading 4-2. The pitch. And Rendon not going quietly. And a nice catch in the front row of the upper deck.
Rendon has such a quick bat. He has very little, if any, stride. And really a great set of hands.
He quickly became one of our favorite players the moment we saw him put on a Washington uniform. Sadly, he's done more than his share of hurting the Braves in seasons past. But 2014, his first full season in the major leagues. Rendon played 153 games, hit 21 homers, drove in 83 runs, and hasn't stopped hitting since. 3 seasons of 20 or more homers. The pitch. is lifted toward left. Borges coming on, got there, and Winkler a 1-2-3 eighth inning. Dan wins the battle with Rendon. Atlanta winning the battle of game 1 late. It's 4-2.
Hats off for heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Well, pals, a 2-run lead is great. 3-run lead would be even better. Camargo, Tucker, and Swanson, Camargo, Borges, and Swanson are coming up for the Braves. Suero back out there for the 8th inning for the Nationals. And an even count.
That is a good cutter also.
Hey, you can tell we're talking about the average to lefties. That's his pitch right there. He just keeps bearing it in on him.
And then floats one over the outside corner. Phillies lead the Dodgers 2-1. That game's in the top of the 9th inning out west.
They've been playing for like a week, haven't they?
Well, that's the 4th game, yeah.
Man.
They did have to put, or I believe they're going to put Rhys Hoskins on the DL with that fractured jaw. Pedro Florimon DL'd with a broken foot. The Phillies head next to San Francisco and then wrap up their long road trip with a series against the Cubs.
Tough trip.
And we found out Maikel Franco did score, which is amazing that no one challenged that. Someone messed up. Someone's got to get fired.
Well, if you remember, replay was supposed to be for boundary calls and scoring plays. How does that slip by?
I mean, he wasn't even close to it.
Brutal. Ground ball hit to the right side. Defoe, nice play. And Camargo played perfectly. 1 out. So here's Peter Borges.
Suero, like Dan Winkler, is a good weapon for a team to have in their bullpen because he's a right-hander who can get lefties out with that cutter. Don't always have to match up.
I was talking to Sned earlier today about Borges coming back, and he said, you know, listen, we got to have someone that can play center field. If something was to happen to Ender, you know, hopefully it doesn't, but if it did, he said Culberson's really my only guy that I have that could go out to center. He's like, usually, yeah, Acuna would be the guy, but
I don't think Acuna is eligible to come back until that first day in L.A.
The 8th or the 9th, I think it is.
Might be the off day, but first game would be the first game in L.A., I believe.
And I think it might be a little more than that.
Do you?
I do. I think with him, it's one of those things that you got to make sure he's 100% healthy.
Borges taps one to first and foul.
When it's something like that in the knee area and all that, especially how young he is, and
boy, it was an amazing thing to us, and I'm sure to you too, Jeff, to see him stand up and then walk off the field. It was ugly.
I mean, it looked just like what Bryce Harper did.
I think he's done making safe calls.
Yeah.
He'll let the umpire do it.
Yeah, hope so. 0-2 pitch for Borges, his second stint with the Braves. Remember, Atlanta signed him as a free agent March 25th. He and Ryan Flaherty were the last two additions to the 25-man roster. Braves then released Borges on April 29th, signed a minor league contract to return to the organization May 2nd, and here he is. Swing and a miss. That's out number 2. So Suero has a couple of strikeouts among the first 3 Braves hitters he's retired. And the final hope in the Atlanta 8th is Dansby Swanson, who's 0 for 2. Notice the other day that Dansby, when he came back from the left wrist, was using the axe-handled bat. He's not using the axe handle for the second straight game. And that went over his head. A breaking ball that didn't break.
Fortunate to get out of the way of that one.
The umpire was ducking too. That's how wild that pitch was.
Are they trying to see if it nipped his bat?
Yeah, checking to see if there was a foul there.
If he was going to foul it, it would have been with his helmet. They may have heard that the ball tick off the catcher's glove. Maybe that's what they thought was the bat.
Or they just figured Dan Bellino just bailed out of the way, didn't see it. Maybe I can convince them.
Yeah.
2 balls, no strikes.
Dan's had a good night.
Lifted to left, and Soto is there. And he makes the two-handed catch. And this game heads to the 9th inning. 4, 5, and 6 for Washington. The Braves protecting a 2-run lead. Finish. Insurance runs late are always a good thing when you face the defending Eastern champion Nationals.
2-out single, and then this play with the ball just stopped right up against the wall and made Harper go a couple of extra steps to retrieve it. That allowed Ender the time he needed to score. That was a huge run.
And now Vizcaino is on to pitch for the Braves. Atlanta's staff has retired 17 of the last 18 Nationals. And Vizcaino, over his last 3 outings, has set 9 consecutive batters down. Hope that continues with the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Washington here in the 9th inning.
He's been in 2 games against the Nationals, 2 innings, 3 hits, a run. That was a home run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts.
One thing I really like about Viz, when he gets some rest, is when he tends to be really, really effective. It's when he's got to pitch 3 days in a row. Sometimes it can be tough on him.
It's a good observation, and I think that's why they work real hard to try to save these guys and work some of those other pitchers in and out of the Gwinnett roster.
Mark Reynolds leads off. He's 0 for 3. And has yet to hit the ball out of the infield. A strike at 99 miles an hour. Vizcaino has not pitched since the 27th. So he is rested. That first fastball tells you his arm's feeling good tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You just brag on those umpires a little bit, they'll give you a call.
Yeah, it's like I do. He knows we're talking good about him.
No balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Reynolds retired.
100. Some gas.
Braves have retired 18 of 19.
100 at the knees on the black. Not bad.
Yeah, Reynolds, look at him. You can tell he's saying, I had no chance right there.
So there's the first out. Now on Soto, the young Nationals left fielder. He's got an 0 for tonight. 2 flyouts and a ground out. In the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes.
Can't imagine this kid's seen too many guys like Viz at Single A or Golf Roast League.
He might have seen some 100-mile-an-hour
well, that's
stuff,
true.
but
they
he
just
was
didn't
hanging,
know where they were going.
He was hanging loose in the box. Yeah.
He is bringing it, folks. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braves are 2 outs away from taking over first again in the East and handing Newcomb his 6th win. Fly ball foul. It's strike 2.
You're talking about, Joe, a minute ago, how to use a bullpen. I always remember when I was playing for Bobby, and his big thing was, hey, we're down 2 or 3 runs. We're going to use our middle relievers. We're going to try to stay in the game if we score runs. But the moment we had the lead in the 6th or 7th, here come the horses. He always told me, you got a chance to win a big league ball game, you win a big league ball game.
Swing and a miss. Soto's down. That one blistered in there at 99.
It's not your fault, kid.
Is that what they used to tell you?
Yep, it's not your fault.
That's 11 in a row retired by Vizcaino. The Braves have retired 19 of 20 Nationals, dating back to the 2-out Rendon hit in the 3rd inning. And their final hope is Michael Taylor, who's 0 for 3. He's struck out. Ball 1. Hammered toward left. Borges on the run. Not going to get there. That'll bounce up against the fence. And Taylor keeps the Nationals alive with a 2-out double. And Washington will bring the tying run to the plate.
It's a fastball. That is
some quick hands there. That ball's on the inner half, if not a ball.
Like he stepped in the bucket a little bit to get to it,
he
too.
might have been just. He took a page out of my book.
So Matt Adams, the former Brave. As we told you, he's hit 12 home runs this year. He can hit a fastball. And he has hit them a long way here. both as a Cardinal and as a Brave. We hope it doesn't happen as a Nat here in the 9th.
Yeah, I love Matt, and he's done a great job for them, but you can hit another one on Monday.
That one I think he hit to keep it from hitting his back knee.
Adams 3 for 12 as a pinch hitter. Down a strike. Hammered down the right field line, but he pulled it foul. That was close.
Mislocation. Fastball away was the call. And he threw him one about belt high, inner half.
So it's a long, loud strike. Adams has one left.
I'd like to see some high cheese right here, Joe.
22,000 on their feet as Vizcaino ponders the next pitch to his former teammate.
Run it up out of the zone.
I like that.
The stretch. And here it is. Strike three, called a hook. Adams caught looking, and the Braves are back in first in the East. They beat the Nationals 4-2. Absolutely brilliant pitching by the Braves trio of Newcomb, Winkler, and Vizcaino. It's a 4-2 final, and what a way to start this 4-game series with their head-to-head foes, the Nationals, tonight, guys.
No message to be sent, according to everybody, but when you win the first game, boy, does that make the rest of the series look good.
Hey, all you can say tonight is our pitch, and Newcomb 7 strong. Between Winkler and Viz, 5 strikeouts out of 7 hitters.
Atlanta
Strong.
wins their 17th game in the month of May. When we join you again, the calendar says June 1, and it'll also say Atlanta won in the National League East. Plenty to talk about on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Jeff and Joe will join me, Jerome, and Brian Jordan with a recap of tonight's exciting victory at SunTrust Park.